Hey everybody, welcome to Bill Sky, the Assembly Guy, and this video is a follow-on to my first random input-output video for Linux. There's also one for Windows, and I'll be recording a more advanced one for Windows just like this one for Linux. And what this one is going to be talking about is how to write data randomly to a binary or even a text file. As long as the data is structured correctly, it's very easy to do. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and take a look at the Linux or the Windows random file IO video that I did to talk about how to learn about how to read the data randomly, because you're going to need that in this video. You're going to need to have that information from this video, and I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. So let's just jump right into coding. Okay, so I've got Linux up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the file that we actually produced in the first video on random file IO, and we're going to modify it. So the way we're going to modify it is that we have to modify the opening of the file to be input and output, not just input or not just output. It has to be both. So we have to do that. And also we're going to ask the user to type a new hexadecimal value, quad word value in, so that can be written to the file randomly. So the program is going to stay exactly the same. It's going to find the data, it's going to display it on the screen, but then it's going to ask the user, please enter a new value. And then we're going to overwrite the old value that's in the file without having to read the whole file. It's actually pretty cool. Now, you could do other things too, right? You could say, well, would you like to update the value? And you could say no and then skip around it, or you could say yes and then ask them to enter it in. But I'm going to leave that up to you to do that. This is just to show you how to get the data actually written randomly to the file. So I have a new message here just called new value message. And I just added that. So let's move on down. And number one is that we have to open the file for input and output. Now the thing that you do there is you move into RSI the 2H. I believe it was 1H for input only. It might have been 0H, but 2H means open it for input and output. That means you can read from it and write to it at the same time by manipulating that file pointer arrow, that position pointer. So that's the first thing we have to do. Just change that to a 2, and that's all you have to do. So when you're opening the file for input to read from it, instead of the old value, you make it a 2 hex, which is the same as 2 decimal, and it opens it for both input and output. So that's the simplest part of this whole thing. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to print that new value message. Now that new value message is simply going to display on the screen, please enter a new value. And I don't have that code in there. That's going to be about what we're going to do. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's make it. And let's make it, and then let's run it just so you can see what happens. So it asked me to type in a record number. I'm going to put 0. Please enter a new hexadecimal value. So it's fine. It's working. You can see the data there being printed on the screen. Okay, so it does display. It is displaying that message that we wanted to display. All right. So now we have to ask the user to actually type the new value in. So the way that you do that is that we say print the new value, and then we're going to say call input hex. Now these are using the Komanetsky functions that are on Linux. I'm going to have a link to those again in this video on how to download those and set those up. Makes things really, really easy. So this is simply allowing me to input the hexadecimal value. So let's go ahead and just see how that works. And let's run it. And I'll type position 1. There we go, 1111H. It says enter new hexadecimal value. I'll put in 8888 and press enter. I'll do 1 again. So you see it's still 1. So we put in the data. We typed in the data, but we haven't updated the file yet. So that's the next thing to do. Okay, so we have them input a hexadecimal value. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that they input a correct, valid hexadecimal value. And the way that input hex works in my libraries is it sets the carry flag. So I want to jump if it's a carry. So after I do the input hex, if I set the carry flag inside the input hex function, I want to jump to a thing called input error, and that's simply down here where it displays a bad, an error message. So let's go ahead and make that, and let's go ahead and run it. You can see how that works. So I'm going to put in position 1, enter a new hexadecimal value for your entry. I'm going to put in ZZZZ, which is an invalid hexadecimal value. It says error, you need to put in a non-negative integer. I really should change that. Maybe we have a different error message like invalid hex value entered. But for now, just because we're testing it, that seems to work. I'm going to put in AAA. And it gave me another error there. Oh, because the record. So I'm going to say A and AAA. Okay, then please enter a record number. So it seems to be working. Let's make sure about that. So I'm going to put in record 1, and I believe we put in ZZZZ. Yep, that was invalid. Record 1. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. So that's valid. Okay. All right, great. So let's get out. So that's the first thing. We have to ask the user for that. Now, if it isn't an error, if it was okay, what I want to do is I'm going to move into the new value. Now, new value is a variable that I created up above. It's a quad value. And I'm going to put that new value from RAX. Now, when you call input hex, it puts the resulting value into RAX. So I'll put a comment here, input hex stores the input hexadecimal number into RAX. Let's save it. So we're just going to go ahead and save it. Okay, now there's something else that we might want to do in here. Remember when we calculated the position in the file when we read it? Notice I added this little line of code right here, because that position RAX, or inside of RAX, when I call or when I calculate that position, it actually will put the position in the file where you want to write the new value. It'll put it into RAX, or where you want to read the new value. So what I did was I created another variable called file position up above, and I saved that in there because not only are we going to use it here when we position the file pointer, but we're going to need it again when we position the file pointer again to this time write. Because remember, when you read data from a file, the file pointer moves to the end of that data you read. We need to move it back to where the data was that we read. So we're going to go. I went ahead and set that up. Okay. So the next thing we have to do is we have to move into RSI that file position, the location in the file where we originally read the data from the file. So that copies that data back to RSI. We're going to move into RAX 8. 8 stands for position the read pointer, because we have to position it back to the beginning of that data. We're going to move into RDI, the file handle. I believe in the previous video I called it input file handle. I went ahead and changed it to file handle because it's both input and output, the file we wish to manipulate. And then we're going to move into RDX 0. And again, if you remember, 0 equals starting at the beginning. And then we're going to do a syscall. So that's all we're doing right here, is that we're just reposition the file pointer to the beginning of the data which we previously read from the file. And that's what that code does there. Okay, now I'm going to just build that, and I'm going to run it just to make sure we don't, the program doesn't die. Okay, so let's go to 1, and we're going to say A, B, C, D, E, F, 1. All right, good. So we didn't get an error. The program is still running okay, hopefully. So we didn't do anything in this code right here that's going to cause a big problem. Okay, so there we go. So we went ahead and read it. Now let's write it. Write the new value entered by the user into the file. And that was the data that we used up here in the input hex. Okay, Now, there's a little bit of a problem here. Oh yeah, no, there's not. We did it. We actually moved the value the user typed in into new values. So we do have that in there. All right, great. So we're going to move into RAX1, write to the file. That's what a 1 means in RAX. We're going to move into RDI, the handle, file to write to. We're going to move into RSI. Now we want to move into RSI the address of the new data that the user typed in, so we don't put square brackets around it. The data, the address of the data to write to the file. And then we have to put the size, so we're going to move into RDX8. Oh, the number of bytes to write. And then we're going to say syscall. All right, let's go ahead and build this. Oh, we got an error. So 151, where's the error right there? Oh, I put a curly bracket instead of a square bracket. Okay. Now let's go ahead and run it. Now we're actually going to change data in the file. And the way that we're going to show this is that we're going to search for a value. Let's search for the very first one. It's 1111. Enter a new hexadecimal entry. I'm going to put AAAA, AAAA. I'm going to put that large number into there and press enter. Okay, now how do we know that it wrote to it? Well, we can go ahead and look at the file using a hexadecimal editor, or we can just type 1 again to reread that data from the file. And lo and behold, it is now AAAA, AAAA instead of 1111. Let's change it to 1111. Let's read it again, and there it is, 1111. So you can see how it would be kind of nice to have a question there. Would you like to update this value that you just displayed, that you just searched for in the file and displayed, instead of having to type it in again? So one last thing I want to show you before we move on is let's go ahead and change a couple of values. And then let's change the last one. And then let's leave. All right, now let's use a hexadecimal editor to view that. So I'm going to say ghex, and I believe it was int_file.bin. And there's our data. We actually did update the data in the file. You can see the AAAA, AAAA, here's the BBBB, BBBB, and if you scroll on down to the very bottom, you're going to see our DDDD, DD that we entered in. So the file is actually updated. And don't forget, you've got to close the file, but we used the older program, the program from the previous video, to help us out so we didn't have to code it all from scratch. All right, so that is random file IO, the output part of it. Go ahead, take a look at it, play around with it, maybe put double words in there instead of quad words, change the 8s to a 4. It works the same. Hope to see you at our next video.